Hi, WIM team. I hope you ladies are having a wonderful night and enjoying your class. I'm sad that I missed it, that I'm missing it, but I'm at a concert tonight. I asked Rachel if I could share my experiences with positive affirmations because it's something that I'm very passionate about and it's something that I learned at WIM. Um, so she said yes, obviously. And so as I've spent the last few weeks really focusing on positive affirmations and studying up on them, I found a few facts that I want to share with you. So, positive affirmations are a form of stress relief. They help change and overcome self sabotage and negative thoughts. They can help you increase your confidence and your success. They increase self esteem. It can decrease depression and anxiety, and this is actually a practice that a lot of therapists use with their patients who suffer from those things because it is such a good help. Positive affirmations can improve productivity and they can help overcome bad habits and build good habits. And I want you guys to remember that as you go throughout your WIM training, that positive affirmations can build good habits. So, like I said before, I love WIM and it taught me a lot of different things. It helped me have a better attitude towards health and towards my body image. It taught me to love exercise, which I never thought I would. It taught me how to have a positive and healthy relationship with food. But what a lot of people don't know is that WIM actually gave me my life back mentally and, in a sense, kind of saved my life. A few years back, in 2017, I really hated my life and I hated myself. I hated being around myself. I was always telling myself how much I hated myself and everything around me. I hated going to work because I could never do anything right and I made a lot of mistakes. I hated going to school because I was never smart enough and I knew that I wouldn't be able to accomplish what I wanted to do in life and get the degree that I wanted to. I knew that I was never strong enough and I couldn't be strong enough. I was never happy and concluded that I would never be a positive person. And I knew that I was one of those people in life that was just meant to be alone because I couldn't attract friends and nobody wanted to be around me because I hated myself and I wasn't good enough. And I was never able to change my life because I was never good enough and I could not be better just because, again, I was never good enough. The list went on and on of the things I was telling myself. But during that time, that crazy life, negative mindset, I went to WIM and I had an experience that I will always remember and it stuck with me and I think about it almost daily. We had a guest speaker that came that Rachel got, and this guest speaker changed my life. She started talking about being the power of being kind to yourself. And I cannot verbally express how profound that was to me because I always wanted to be a kind person in my life. I always strive to be that. I always tell myself that it's better to be kind than anything else because there's so many negative people and rude people in the world. I just wanted to be a light in somebody's life. And I remember reflecting on that and thinking, what am I telling myself? Am I being kind to myself? Which in hindsight, it's really easy. And as I'm telling you this, it's really easy to say yes, that I was not being kind to myself. But at the time, it was really hard for me to notice that. And I started really focusing on what I was telling myself. I was telling myself that I could never truly be happy, that I am not and can never be a positive person because I'm just not perky enough, that I'm never going to be good enough. I was telling myself that my hopes and dreams are impossible, that I'm not worth it, and that I constantly, it doesn't matter what the situation, I was always telling myself that I cannot do it. I just can't. And I started reflecting on that of, was I being kind to myself, telling myself those things? Do I tell my friends that? Do I hope that my family believes those things about themselves? And I really started looking at what were those negative things doing to me, and why was I not being nice to myself? And I started reflecting again on that kindness, being kind to myself, and I realized that I needed to stop being rude to myself. I really needed to get out of that self-sabotage of a headspace. And I knew it was going to be difficult. Just like any other exercise, we can't do one sit-up and have an amazing six-pack of abs, even though I really wish we could. I knew that it was going to take practice to get out of this mindset and to be a positive person. And so I started changing my mindset, and I started saying to myself, I can be happy. I can be the positive. I don't need to be perky to find the positive in my life, or to be the positive. I can be good enough. Those things started changing to I am, and I will. I am positive. I am happy. I am worth it. I will achieve my hopes and dreams, because I can do whatever I put my mind to. And I can, and I will. And as I tell you these things, I don't want you to think that I have my life figured out, because I don't. I still have days, even today. I looked in the mirror and looked at my hair and thought, what am I doing? Because I know I have to make this video for Wim. I am not pretty. That is not a pretty hairstyle. And so I have those days where I'm not pretty. I'm not good enough. I can't be the best. But the difference between those days now versus my life back then is that I can recognize when I am telling myself negative things, and I can combat it. And yeah, there may be a day that I need to have a pity party for myself, because I just need to feel what I'm feeling. But I always put a deadline on it. Okay, you can have a pity party during your lunch break, but the second you get back to work, you are going to be a positive person, and everything's going to be great. You can have this bad night, but tomorrow you're going to wake up because it's a new day. And so I kind of recognize that sometimes I'm not being kind to myself, or sometimes I do just need to feel that, but always remind myself that I'm better than I think I am, and that you're better than you think you are, that you can accomplish things, that you can and will be happy, etc. So when I really started focusing on positive self-talk, I started putting Post-it notes around my desk. And I would show you my desk, but right now it's covered in papers and applications and really not pretty, and it would just be distracting. So I'm going to tell you some of the Post-it notes I have instead of show you. So the very first Post-it note that I wanted to share is purpose over perfect. And I love that, because sometimes I just need to have a purpose, that I don't need to be the first one to finish the half marathon, or I don't need to walk the fastest, but I'm doing it for a purpose. And that purpose doesn't have to be perfect for anybody else but me. Another one I have is be in the business of being awesome. I always remind myself that maybe sometimes my awesome isn't the same as other people's awesome, but I'm going to be awesome to me. Another one is I elevate myself and others. And then again, this one goes with mistakes, but before you are able to be good at something and do something important, you must first suck at something and have no idea what you're doing. And I feel that a lot. And it was just a good reminder of everybody has learning curves, and it's okay. And it doesn't matter, because I'm doing the best that I can, and I can improve myself. The other one that I like to tell myself is rise up. And that means, sometimes it means I need to rise up in my attitude, or I need to rise up in my self-talk. But really focusing on being more positive and upbeat and finding the good. These last two that I wanted to share have made the biggest impact in my life. And the first one is I choose to be happy. And that really hit me, because in 2017, when I really had that depressive mindset, I was choosing that negative mindset. And I mean, I know I suffer with depression. I know sometimes depression is hard um, to get out of, but for me, I was choosing that negativity and I was choosing that funk. And it's always a reminder to me that I really can be happy. And even if things aren't going my way, I can choose to take the higher ground. Even if it's with myself, I can choose to be better to myself. I can choose to be happier. And the last one is a poem that I absolutely love. And I read this almost daily, and it says, listen to the mustn'ts, child. Listen to the don'ts. Listen to the shouldn'ts, the impossibles, the won'ts. Listen to the never haves, then listen close to me. Anything can happen, child. Anything can be. And I love that because the power of your mind really is so big. If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And so I urge you to be kind to yourself, not just throughout whim, but also throughout life. Focus on it during whim, because it will be really easy to practice, because we have an amazing team and an amazing leader who we're cheering for one another. It's exciting, and I love WIM so much because of that camaraderie, and it is a great place to practice this. There will be times where it is so hard, where you will want to give up. There will be walks that you are in so much pain, and you just want to sit down on the side of the road and cry and have somebody bring your car to you. There will be times in your race that you want to give up, but I want you to remember, and if you ever need a reminder, you can come to me for this. You are worth it. You are capable of accomplishing it. You are capable of whatever you put your mind to. And you can accomplish it. You will finish the race that you've signed up to do. You are capable of doing hard things. I love you guys, and I am so excited for the rest of this season. And like I said, you can do it, and you are capable. And I will see you guys next Wednesday.